Travis Kalanick was born in 1976 in Las Vegas, California, and from an early age he was highly competitive. So much so that when he was younger, he used to play a board game with his family, but he couldn't help himself but memorize all the cards just so he could never lose. Travis was also very ambitious. When he was just 12 years old, he would go door to door, selling items like knives, forks, spoons, and so much more. Because of this, he quickly developed his sales skills, and throughout high school, he kept trying out new ways to make money. But like many famous entrepreneurs, he never actually graduated. In 1998, he co-founded Scour, a file-sharing service similar to Napster, which was known for sharing music, movies, and so much more. Surprisingly, the app quickly skyrocketed, but this was a ticking time bomb, because Scour didn't have any licensing for the music or movies they were sharing, forcing the business to file for bankruptcy. At this point, Travis was 25 years old, and because of his business failure, he had lost almost everything. By now, he had seen how big the file-sharing business could get, and he thought, why not start another company doing the same thing? The only difference is, he would do it legally this time around. So he launched a company called Red Squash, and as expected, the company easily saw its first customers, then more and more, and in 2007, he sold the company for around $19 million. As he exited from his first business success, Travis was very enthusiastic about starting a new one. Simultaneously, on the other side of the planet, another entrepreneur by the name of Greg Camp was in Paris for a tech conference. After the conference, he struggled for a few hours trying to get a taxi late at night. At that moment, he thought, what if I can just press a button and get a ride instantly? A few days later, Grant returned to San Francisco, and he still couldn't shake off the idea of getting a ride with one press of a button. So, alone in his bedroom, he thought of a service where people could use an app to summon a car on demand. But he needed help turning this idea into a business. And then suddenly, he thought of Travis, a fellow entrepreneur known for his hardworking personality. By 2009, both Travis and Grant registered the company and almost immediately started building a prototype. Just a year later, Uber Cab was launched in San Francisco, and the first ever Uber ride was taken by Ryan Graves, an early employee who later became Uber's first CEO. They were building one of the biggest transporting monopolies that would make them billions. At first, the company only offered luxury cars for the rich, meaning they were losing a ton of money by not serving the ordinary person. But even still, the response from Uber Cab's launch was overwhelmingly positive. However, the name Uber Cab caught the attention of taxi regulators, who warned Travis that his business was operating illegally under taxi laws, and not wanting to see another of his businesses fail, he immediately changed the name from Uber Cab to just Uber. At first, to drive for Uber, you had to use their cars. But in 2012, Grant and Travis introduced UberX, which allowed regular drivers to use their own cars. This left the taxi industry devastated. But by now, Uber was growing too fast. By the next year, Uber had expanded to more than 25 cities worldwide. And then it expanded even more and more. By now, Uber was very successful. Of course, Travis and Grant were very happy. But unbeknownst to Travis, he would soon be kicked out of his own company by none other than his best friend. By 2017, Uber was worth more than $70 billion. However, over the years, Travis's behavior towards his employees had worsened, leading many to strongly dislike him. On top of that, the company was filled with multiple scandals, and it was getting scrutinized on social media left and right. One major controversy was #DeleteUber.